Well, I pulled the number 1 barrel off. I don't know if you can see in there what this light's going to do for you. It's very hard to see, although I haven't got my glasses on. Just there's a big score mark. I've actually sanded it down just to see what it's like. It's really eaten out. And over this side, there's another score mark. So if the piston was sitting like that, the barrel was sitting like that, it's like it's got a tide mark in it. And there's where the end of the piston was sitting back there. So I think it's toast. I'll have to put a new set of barrels and pistons in it. Well, this is the end of this lot for a little while. I don't know what happened, unless I can find a 1641 barrel to replace this one, or a new set of barrels. Well, not really happy about that one, because I don't think I'll get another 1641 barrel in a hurry. I'll let you know what happens. I just pulled the other side out. This is number 1, and it's leaking from there right around. Actually, it's only that part of it there that's not leaking, and the number 2 is clear all the way around. It's a good one. Yeah, this one's got a little bit there to there, just a very small piece. So really there's 3 leaking cylinders. So it's time to pull it down, I guess. Hasn't done any damage to the head. The head still looks alright, hasn't sort of scoured it or anything. Onto my second head now. This is the valve spring valve remover I made. Very simple. It's just a little bit of steel with that on, and it presses them down hard enough to get the pieces out of there, and I should have my little magnet. Oh well, I'll get onto this one. Got myself a new set of barrels and pistons. Went down to a 1600, and I'm just pulling out all the valves so that I can set it up in the lathe. These all got nice and polished because they had a lot of time. So I've got those ones to sit in very shortly, but just at the moment I decked the head at barrels at 1.7 mils, and I'm just setting this up in the lathe now. I haven't centered it or anything, so that I can get it spinning in their center. This isn't going to do. I'll have to chop that down a bit. It's a little bit big. Plus it overhangs the wall a little bit, which means it's a bit tricky to get it centered that way. So I'm going to take 0.75 mils out of that, because I've CC'd the head here and it's 62 millimeters, which is very high. A lot of the standard ones, I believe, are only about 56 or something. So 0.75 will take me down a little bit, probably give me a compression ratio of about 69, maybe 70. So, well, 69, maybe 70 to 1, I mean. So we'll see how we go. I'll see if I can get this thing squared up. Actually, as you see down here, there's very little space between the end of my deck here, the lathe, and the side of the head, so should be right. I'm sure that'll spin quite nicely. I'll turn it on when I've got it pretty much set up. 0.2 of a mil out, I think. .2 of a mil is probably good enough for the sidewall, because it's got nothing to do with the compression or anything. It's just the depth that I'm worried about. So we'll just check the surface here and make sure it's pretty good. I did before and that was pretty good anyway, so See what happens. And that's the face of it, is what I'll be cutting. So it's pretty well spot on. Absolutely bang on, that's good. Bouncing a little bit, but it's basically staying the same with a bit of bounce. It must have a bit of crap on the edge to do that. Well, there's one pass. We're down 40 thou, 0.04 of a millimetre. Not going to focus on that, is it? Naught's there, we've come round to there. I've got to go around to the 0.75 of a millimetre, which is about there. And then we'll just run it up with this micrometer. I've got it set on what it's got to be in the depth. So whatever this first one is, I'll set this, and let's set it 0.03 of an inch, around there I think. Don't get me wrong, I don't know my imperial very well, but I've got it set where I'm supposed to be anyway. See how it turns out. Well, I just measured it up, and from the original I'm exactly completely one dial, complete turn of the dial. I've got my little green mark there, and one complete turn is 0.03 of an inch. So 0.75 of a millimetre is I was going to go 0.75 of a millimetre, but exactly 0.03 of an inch is 0.77 of a millimetre. So I'm going 0.77 of a millimetre because it's just easy on this where my little green marks is. Just go straight round until you line up your mark again. Bang, that's it. This one here, using this dial gauge, I went to 0.75 of a millimetre, and it actually chewed down to 0.77. So that's pretty close. Good for me anyway, because I'm a novice, I tell you. Well, while it was apart, I couldn't help it. There's a big lip in there. It's chamfered, and so I ground it straight through. So I've gained almost 5 millimetres of width through there from that point in front of the black. It's about 30, and this one's about 35, I think 31, 36 or something like that. Couldn't help it, might as well do it.